first reaction was they're quite shocked lah. It's like, wow, how how do you find someone so young? And my eldest brother was telling me, 你不要骗小妹妹啊。
She came through like I think a free tuition program that my church was giving, so I was a volunteer there.
Yeah.
And so in some sense, she was my student.
Can you stop making it more scandalous than it already sounds?
We actually used to serve together in the like our church's youth media ministries as we learned how to work together on projects. Then later we got to know each other better. We became friends.
We met each other while serving together in church.
But we only got to consider each other as potential mates when someone who knows both of us kind of like brought us together.
Between the two of us, I think I liked him first. But also because of like it's not so normal, right, for the lady to be older usually. I've spent almost I think 1 year asking myself like, am I really sure like what's going on, digging down a bit. So actually when he did ask, then we had a lot of, oh, are you sure? I'm like, no, are you sure? Yeah, but we talked it out, and I think he said he was sure, so I decided that okay, yeah, I'll trust him. Yeah, and I think it was a good call so far, because
We are both leaders in the kids ministry, children's ministry. And actually it's during this retreat, because our pastor always like to pull all the singles together. Then
Yeah, she literally asked us to share in a
Our
circle
criteria.
our criteria for our for our future spouse.
But I wasn't also considering her because I know like she was too young.
So at the barbecue, people actually squeezed something out of him.
Yeah.
They were like, all these sisters here, surely there's
All
someone.
the godly sisters,
Yeah,
like, there must be someone you.
Or like some criteria. Then they managed to ask, okay, if we ask you to just name one name, like someone like who?
In my mind, when they keep pressing me for a name, then I was like, okay, like, if there's really one person that I want to try to date, then probably it will be her lah. So I just said her name, and then my mentor, my leaders got very excited. So just go for it.
There was a night that I was praying to God, and I was wrestling with my desire for companionship and like loneliness and all this, and then I was praying to God, you gotta like help me lah. So when I closed my eyes, and then suddenly there was this image that came lah. So it was an image of like first a girl on a train, then the scene cut to a boy on the platform, and then the third scene was like basically the boy and the girl hug on the platform. So that vision came, and I was like wondering, God, what could that mean? And I felt the thought that came was, be patient. I'll bring the girl to you. And 3 days later, right? Mavis, who stayed like more in the eastern part of Singapore. I used to stay like Chinese Garden, which is like the western part of Singapore. She had to run an errand in the west, right, in Jurong area. And knowing that, I was like, hey, why not we just catch up for breakfast, or since you're coming to the west? Because of some miscomm, whatever, right? Then
You're at the wrong door.
yeah. So she had to
come out
of the train, right? So we basically met on the. I on the platform. I saw her walking towards me, so that vision that I had 3 nights ago like came back, but I was like, I completely struck it off because I never saw her in that way before. But because of that particular experience, it opened the door lah. So that kind of helped me with that way, cultivate my liking lah for her.
Definitely the age gap was a thing that we had to consider. Like 12 years So I think I had a harder time. Like, cause for him, he considered, you also had it hard.
Yeah, I hate it hard.
Okay, yeah, he had to overcome the barrier of
Yeah,
Xiao Mei Mei.
yeah, the barrier of Xiao Mei Mei, it's like, it's like, the generation gap, like.
Yeah, like can you imagine like when
She's
he
the-
was
I'm
taking his
not the-
PSLE, I was just born.
I think like before I asked her to be my girlfriend, I was really trying to do like a cost benefit analysis of it, and I feel like for everything that I thought of, like I'm needing to have children earlier, life stage, income, or just any kind of disagreement that may arise from it, I felt like that was something I could work out with her, because just because of the friendship that we had, and I really felt like I knew that I could talk to you about anything and work it out with you. Yeah, so I think I really appreciated that. Yeah.
I've always knew like I would date someone older than me, but I never think about the limit like how old lah. But as long as the guy was older than me, I didn't really think too much.
Because of the age gap, like she's 8 years younger, what kind of challenges there would be. And I know that, for example, some of my friends or the people in church, who especially those who are more conservative maybe, or like even my own parents, right, that they may have qualms about it, right? So that is kind of something that entering the relationship, I was like aware of that we need to like, navigate lah.
So there were a lot of friends who knew us like growing up in the church, and the years that we were good friends as well. So half of them were like, "Oh, finally, we were waiting so long, Then the other half were completely stunned, like they had
You
no-
have like team finally, and then you have team what?
Yeah, like I think we had one friend, he had his own date later that night, and we told him, and I heard like he couldn't think straight the entire date, like he was just kind of like eating his food, thinking about it, like, but.
When she asked her mom, like, whether she could date someone older, then her mom immediately said my name.
Yeah,
I was like,
because I was also shocked.
yeah.
I didn't know that he had left an impression. Because like last time I would try to balance my ministry time and my family time by having combined meals together.
So because
Yeah.
I'm the older guy, so when the parents come, right, so they will feel a bit left out among all the young kids lah. So I will just volunteer myself to talk to them and make them feel comfortable. I guess that's how I probably that left an impression on them.
Initially, actually, when my parents knew about me liking her and us like wanting to be together, my mom especially was like actually very against it. And so there was a point, I remember we had a family meeting, and I think the conclusion was like, okay, you are an adult now, you just gotta learn how to make your own decision, right? And live with it, that kind of thing. So I will, I said, I will make my own decision, I will live with it, right? And
What a rebel.
when we got married, all that, I think my parents were like the most supportive of the relationship.
Yeah.
My mom dote on babies more than me now, that kind of thing. Yeah. So that is that, I guess, redemptive part of it. Yeah.
Sometimes I do feel like I'm consistently trying to match up to him. Like when we play board games, I cannot lose, because it will mean like, you see, I'm young, like, then I lose to him.
Being the younger person in the couple, there is a pressure to, in a sense, grow up a bit more. Like, I would love to just kind of like cruise through uni and like, who knows what I'll do in life. I think there is still that part of me, but I think there is a sense in which I need to like just pull up my socks and get things in order so that we can really go into this marriage and make it work.
For me, I had to be comfortable to let him go through the life stages at his own pace and to not expect him to have experienced what I've gone through or like to rush him. Also on life stage, because I'm working and he's in uni still, then like how do you find time for dates in between projects, and then I'm stuck with office hours, that kind of thing.
I have this tendency to feel, hey, I know you already, you just listen to me. So I just learned to keep an open mind. Like, even though I know this has been done before, and if I do it this way, it might not happen, it might not get the result, I'll just okay lah, just do it anyway. Because now I'm doing it with her, so it might be different.
For me, I've had to learn to consider his energy level also. When we planned our honeymoon trip, I was like, okay, I've landed pins on all these places on a
It's
Google
like
map.
100 over pins.
Yeah, and I
Then I
said,
was like-
okay, we are going to. It's accessible, like it's just.
It's just nearby. It's like
Yeah.
nearby is a few hours and
Yeah, and we were not driving or anything. So now we have arrived at kind of like a rhythm. They're like, okay, make sure he has a break, or like we alternate the activities on different weekends. Like we don't have to. I have to learn that I don't have to get it all done in this time.
Yeah.
Like some things can wait.
He keeps me young.
Oh man.
Especially since I do serve with youth ministry, right? So sometimes I see some of the new lingo or what that I don't understand. Then I'm like, hey, what's this? Can you explain this to me? Have you seen this before? How do I use it without sounding stupid?
Because I'm like 8 years older, there is more financial stability lah. I'm not saying like I earn a lot, but I think because you have extra
You have head
time, right?
start,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that helped.
Yeah, I have friends that are like similar age, and they share me their challenges about how they just started working, together at the same time, and then they have like problems with the whole CPF situation, and
Yeah.
it's tough for them lah.
Yeah.
So that's definitely one of the perks.
even though I'm much older, I think I'm actually quite active. I still like to run around, I like to walk when I'm not so tired. So I really appreciate having a energetic younger wife, and I won't have to worry about her complaining, leg pain or leg. So it's good.
Yeah, that's my worry. To worry whether like he's too tired,
Yeah.
if he's okay. Yeah. Those are the times that I have to remind myself that I've married an old man.
Sorry, to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Yeah, okay, it's fine. Yeah.
Let's say you haven't got into the relationship yet, and you're still making that decision. Don't isolate yourself by trying to make the decision on your own. And if you have already been in a relationship, make sure that you are surrounded by couples who can understand the situation that you are in. Yeah, don't go through this whole journey yourself. It's tough.
When you have a big age gap, you are gonna get a fair amount of differences, whether it's in your experience or dare I say even like how fast you age. but I would say like embrace that as part of your relationship. So as long as you're comfortable with who you are, as long as you are comfortable with who your partner is, and like you're willing to support each other through it, I think like of course, and it honors God, then I think it's nothing to be afraid of.
Just go for it. So I mean, after been married for almost 2 years, I think really, the saying says age is really a number. So if you find someone who is really mature and really can communicate really well, then really the age doesn't really matter.
Yeah, just know that God writes a lot of different kinds of love stories, and sometimes we are so limited in thinking there's only a fixed type. Oh, I must only date someone 2 years older than me. That's the golden age kind of thing. No, there's no such thing, and there's no such boundary. So just go and talk to more people, hear more stories, and know that God is writing a unique love story for you and your other half.
Usually when there are these kind of comments back then, parents will say, shh, shh, don't talk, don't ask, keep quiet, don't point at all, don't look, don't talk. And I think it's because during those years, many people don't know how to react. But nowadays when I go out using this motorized wheelchair, there'll be little children like, wow, so cool, what's that? And then they'll suddenly become very interested. Or if they are younger and they don't have a wide vocabulary of words, they'll say, kaka or wheels.